What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris's Custom Collectibles, and today we are going to be pimping out, in honor of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the Marvel Legends Deluxe Groot figure from the third film. So this guy comes in at a whopping 19 centimeters. Now, this isn't my favorite design of Groot. My favorite design is from Guardians Part 1. And this is their new packaging when it comes to the Marvel Legends figures. They've completely ditched the clear plastic look. They're opting for recycled cardboard. So you have no idea what the figure truly looks like until you open this thing up. So it's a bit of a gamble, especially when back in the day, when the Marvel Legend figures had the clear plastic, you could see the paint job, like especially when it came to the eyes and stuff like that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So obviously we're going to pimp this guy out, but we probably should check out what he looks like inside, shouldn't we? Okay, overall, it is a damn good looking figure for just something that's out of the box, especially when it comes to that detail. Now, he does come with two interchangeable hands at a clenched fist and a tiny little baby rocket raccoon. Hurts. But the main focus is going to be on the figure itself. Now, he does come with his tree wings that you can put on. I really like the design in terms of the wings. So what I'm thinking is we're going to be doing some good old-fashioned dry brushing just for something a bit different. So I'm thinking we're going to be using a clear plastic primer, a Duramax Dulux clear plastic primer, again to utilize that color, and then we're just going to build it up with a series of dry brushes and then go in and do the moss and the greenery and stuff like that just to try and make it look as organic as possible. Now, looking at the eyes are pretty decent. I think I'm going to keep those eyes. But we probably just will add a touch of gloss to them just to give them a bit more personality and a bit more life. So first step is we're going to take them apart. So with that being said, let's get to it. Now, I know I mentioned we were going to be utilizing the base color of this figure, but looking at the reference of the newly released Hot Toys Groot figure from the third Guardians film, that's what I'm using as reference, we need to go a bit darker. So what I did was did a test on one of Groot's legs with some black shoe polish. Undiluted, not watered down, and it's the perfect tint for our base color before we start dry brushing and layering up all that beautiful detail. So I'm going to continue this process all over these pieces. Again, undiluted black kiwi shoe polish, and it just stains that brown just nice enough that we have a perfect starting base for our dry brushing. Now, you really want to take your time and just let it soak into all that beautiful detail. I really can't wait to start the dry brushing process and highlighting all this. It's just going to look great. We're obviously going to be layering it with very light browns, bordering on yellow ochres and stuff like that. And then we can go in and start doing the moss as well, using some actual hobby moss. Alrighty, now that we've allowed all the pieces to dry with the shoe polish on it, I'm really happy with how it's turned out in terms of a base color. Now, the thing that's really going to make this figure pop is the dry brushing. So I've been using the Hot Toys Groot figure from Guardians 3 as reference, and I've come up with hopefully a combination that will work in terms of the perfect base color for dry brushing on top of all this detail. So what I have here are two Matisse brand heavy body acrylics and a Liquitex heavy body acrylic. So I've got a titanium white, we have a yellow oxide and a raw sienna. I'm going to mix all three of these together until I achieve the color from what I've seen with the reference of the Hot Toys figure. And then we're going to get as little as possible on some hobby brushes and start the dry brushing process over all these pieces. And I really want to take my time, because I think just by taking your time, especially in the little crevices here, like on the collarbone and stuff like that, you don't want to go too hard with the dry brushing, because then you can lose all the beautiful detail that you see in the sculpt here, especially the head sculpt. This is the one I really want to take my time with, especially around the eyes and also the forehead, just to get that nice detail popping. Anyway, let's get to mixing these three up until we reach a happy medium, and then we can get to dry brushing. Firstly, let's try the yellow oxide with a little bit of raw sienna and mix those two together. Okay, yep, all right. I think just a bit of titanium white and we should be good to go. So I just added a bit more raw sienna just to bring some brown back into the color, but I think we're ready to go. So I'm gonna get as little as possible on this brush, and we're gonna start to drag it over all that beautiful detail. Alrighty, now that all the pieces have been covered with our paint mixture, it's time to put the entire figure back together. And as you can see, I've kind of got a head start here. So the reason why we need to put him back together now is just to see if there's any touch-ups required. If a certain piece doesn't line up with the rest of the figure, we can just do a bit more dry brushing. But overall, I'm really happy with how he's looking so far, especially that head sculpt. It just has so much more personality in it to what we started with. So I'm gonna glove up, pop the figure back together, assess where we're at, and then we can start the detailing process and adding some flocking to his body. And the last step in this custom collectible is we're gonna grab some medium green fine turf. This is just like a hobby turf. And we're gonna sporadically add it all over the body of Groot and also his wings. But obviously we've got to get that nice mossy crown on top of his head. So I'm gonna be using some cheap and nasty super glue. I've got some Q-tips here. So again, we're gonna sporadically place the glue all over the place and sprinkle the turf on, dust off the excess and make sure it's all kind of smushed in. And one little bonus thing, we are gonna gloss his eyes. Just a little bit of gloss will just give a bit more depth and a bit more personality to the head sculpt. So a cheeky little extra step is we're gonna dial back the intensity of the green here. So I've got an oil color, I've got an olive green oil color, as little as possible on the brush and just dabbing it into where we applied the flocking, and that way it just kind of dials it back into the body of Groot, and yes, that is a siren. But just by doing that, it just makes it a lot more natural, especially in comparison to the paint job we've done on his body. So I'm gonna continue this all over the body, his head and his wings. We're gonna gloss his eyes, and then we can call it a day. Geeks and Geekettes, I'm so happy and over the moon with how Groot has turned out, and just in a couple of easy steps, dead set, you can smash this thing out in an afternoon. It didn't take long for the primer to dry, the shoe polish to dry. If you need to give it a hit with a hairdryer, go for it, but you look at the difference from start to finish. It's day and night. This look of Groot has actually grown on me. I really do like it. I love the wings. It's so enchanting, and Groot himself as a character is just enchanting. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I know it's been a while since the last custom collectible, but with the new channel now, all the talkie videos are on there. Build videos are going to stay on this channel, so it just might mean a bit more space in between videos, but that's fine. It's business as usual. With that being said, wherever you are in the world, please have yourselves an absolute cracker of a day. I hope you well. Hope you're happy. Be merry. Be silly. And until next time, Geeks and Geekettes, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.